If there's any takeaway that you can gain from somatic therapy, it would be that trauma isn't over until the nervous system says it's over. Even though we might consciously, cognitively know, rationally know that our trauma and our experiences are over, why is it that we still get stuck in the same emotional responses, reactions, reflexes in our body, the same thought patterns? Why is it that we continue to suffer long after trauma is over, even though we know it's over? It's because the nervous system still believes and is still stuck in survival mode. And the nervous system does not operate from the conscious, cognitive, cortical, rational part of the brain, the thinking brain. The nervous system operates from the feeling, emotion, sensation, and impulse part of the brain, the subconscious, subcortical brain. And that is why somatic therapy, I'm a somatic experiencing practitioner, which is a trauma resolution modality that focuses on trauma recovery through the nervous system and through body-based methods. In somatic therapy, we work with the nervous system to help it get unstuck from what we call the stress or the threat response cycle. Okay, there's no amount of talking, thinking, willing your way into regulation and out of survival mode that has to happen through the body. And we do this in two ways. Number one, we do it by, you have to, first of all, complete the stress response cycle. Okay, your nervous system is stuck in a chronic state of survival mode because there was some experience in your past that overwhelmed your nervous system's capacity to cope. And when this happens, your system gets stuck in the state or the stress response, okay, that it enlisted back then in order to survive. So that could be a flight response, a fight response, a shutdown response, freeze, functional freeze, or fawn. Those are the top kind of 6 states. Okay, and so in order to get unstuck from those states, we have to discharge all of the stuck survival energy. And we're not talking woo-woo energy, we're talking about the survival energy, which is the survival hormones of our fight or flight responses that began this whole cascade of symptoms, adrenaline and cortisol. When we go into an activated state of survival, like I mentioned earlier, any of those, we are flooded with survival hormones, such as adrenaline and cortisol. And if our nervous system gets overwhelmed during that experience, and what happens is that adrenaline and cortisol gets stuck within the system. And it turns into, those stress hormones over time turn into chronic stress. And that can lead to mental, emotional, physical health problems. So first of all, we have to discharge, we have to expel all of the stuck stress hormones that are within the physiology. Okay, that's number one. And then number two, we need to start to create a sense of safety within the body and within the nervous system. Think of the nervous system like a security system. It's constantly alarming for danger, even if the danger has already passed. It's like we have a faulty alarm. Okay, and so yes, we need to complete that experience, right? We need to get rid of all of those stress hormones, but what's also important is rewiring our nervous system and our subconscious mind to also seek out what feels good rather than just always scanning for what feels not good. Okay, so this is called resourcing, building your felt sense of safety. That can happen internally in your body. It can happen externally in your environment. That can happen between you and other nervous systems. We call that co-regulation. Okay, but leaning into this felt sense of safety starts to create a new language for your nervous system where it's now prioritizing safety over danger. So again, these are things that you cannot do, okay, by just talking or thinking through your trauma. And even though you might know that your trauma is over, your nervous system doesn't know that, right? So again, trauma isn't over until the nervous system says it's over.